Hi everybody, it's Mr. Gray here. I want to say several things to you. First of all, Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a really great break, got to spend time with family and together. I know we had students all over the world over the break, and so I hope everyone had just a really nice time. I'm excited for a new year. We're in 2024, and that's, as we turn the calendar, that means all sorts of things for the year. Eventually, that means the end of 5th grade and the start of 6th grade for the students. There's a lot going on at this time of year, and we're approaching the halfway point of our school year. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is just a big, incredible thank you to all the families. I got so many generous and thoughtful gifts of different kinds, cards for me, and gifts for Everett, my son, and really generous gift cards and things, and it just is a way to feel quite supported by all the families and students. So thank you very much. I got to buy some things for the classroom and for myself and for Everett and for Mrs. Gray. So those are all really nice things to get. And so I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support for everybody. So thank you very much. Finally, I have a few announcements going forward just over the next month or so. It's a bit of a crazy time. We have about 12 or so weeks, I think, until we get to spring break, but this ends up being a quite busy time of year. There just is a lot of things going on. And I think I've said that before, but I think the next stretch here is going to be a really busy time, but that'll be really fun. There's lots of really great things that we're doing and projects and exciting, different things we're looking into. So I think it'll be really fun. But the big announcements are just looking forward are some days off of school where there is no school. And so the first time that happens is next Monday, January 15th. There's no school. That's the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. There's a minimum day when we get out at 1:05 on Thursday, February 15th. That's because open house is on Thursday, February 15th this year. So that's where parents and students come at night. Last year and at Santiago Hills before, it has been right before spring break. And if you're at other schools, sometimes they have it at the very end of the year. But this year we're having it on Thursday, February 15th. That also means the next 2 days after that are off of school. So on Friday, February 16th, there is no school. And on Monday, February 19th, there is no school. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up for those things that are coming. And then the very last thing before spring break is there will be spring conference week, is the week before spring break, which isn't till the end of March 25th through 29th. So I'll send out more information about that later. But as we just look ahead, I wanted to give you an update on some of those things and what we're heading into. Secondly, I'll talk about what's coming up with academics. So for reading this week, we are going to be doing a novel study all together. We're reading Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz-Ryan. Starting in about a week, a little more than a week, we're going to start a unit on historical fiction. And then in the second half of this time before spring break, we'll be doing historical fiction related to the American Revolution. And so we want to kind of set the stage for how to understand historical fiction books. So we'll do a couple things. We'll read Esperanza Rising all together, which is set during the Great Depression. And then also, the kids will have some work to do every day with that as we study the book, and then they'll complete a final assignment next week on the book. And then secondly, I'm going to read aloud the book Number of the Stars by Lois Lowry. As we get into historical fiction, a lot of the historical fiction for 5th and 6th graders are centered around World War II, and I would like to use that read aloud to kind of give a little bit of context and a little bit of history so we can kind of set the stage. And then, like I said, we'll use those books eventually to study historical fiction, and then we'll use that study to get into American Revolution books, all about the historical fiction books, all about the American Revolution. So that should be really fun. But from now until spring break, our reading is really focused on historical fiction and in all the different ways that happens. For writing this week, the kids are going to do a project based on a kid's book, a children's book, and it's just they're going to kind of take this structure of using every letter of the alphabet on every page and kind of turn it into their own creative story. We're getting into a larger writing unit starting next week, but I wanted to take this week to kind of get back into the writing process in a little bit of a creative way. So we're only spending a couple days on this, and then we'll get into our writing unit next week. For math, we have our third CML, Continental Mathematics meet or like the test on Thursday, and so we'll take a few days this week to kind of practice those and work on CML style problems. In social studies, we're going to work on a History Day project for a couple weeks. We'll get back into our regularly scheduled social studies after that, but this year's History Day project is, the theme is turning points in history. And so we're going to have the students kind of look at some turning points. They'll pick a project. They might be working as an individual or a group, and they'll have to turn in the project, a title page, a paper, and even a bibliography on Wednesday, January 24th. And of course, I'll be meeting with groups and helping students along the way, because there's lots of options for them to choose, not only like what the turning point in history they're focusing on, but kind of what they're going to focus on within that turning point. And then also how to do their projects, which style of project to use, how to work either individually or in a group, and how to kind of get everything done. So in addition to working on this like History Day project, we'll also kind of just be managing getting back into this idea of projects and finishing things on time. By the time the students get to sixth grade, it's a little bit more official, and they're working with the History Day like local chapter and things like that. We're doing it as kind of a way to get ready for that next year. So our project will stay in class, but I think if we get a chance, we're going to try to go see the sixth grade History Day projects, and maybe they'll get to come see ours. So that's what's happening there. In science, the students will meet with Mrs. DeMarco today, Monday, and also Thursday this week. No language this week. I'm really retooling a little bit. We're going to get back to that in a week or two. And then for leadership, we're going to get back to Circle of Viewpoints next week, but this week we're going to talk about responsible use of the Chromebooks as we get back into school and are using the Chromebooks on pretty much a daily basis, talking about what it means to use the Chromebooks responsibly and how to be a responsible user of those things. So once again, Happy New Year. Thank you for all of your generous support over the break. And I hope everyone has a great start to the year. As we're getting back into things, don't forget, if you have any questions or want to talk anytime, please let me know. But I'm very excited to see all of your students again and get back into the new year. So I hope you'll have a great week together. Okay? Bye-bye.